Hello there, YouTube. I'm bringing you a hot topic on the sporting world, F1, and what has happened in the past. As you can see, I'm going to start with FIFA. You've seen the corruption that has been found in FIFA, the scandals FIFA has had, and now it seems that even it's going to FIA. In fact, most sporting events, they do have such scandals. The Olympics organizers, you find that probably they get a slap on the hand from a certain nation. And so I'll be using a lot of slap on the hand. So you have to understand what that is. It's more like the deal people do. They have cash in their hands. So when you do a greeting style, you are handing the cash, or more like a bribe. Not more like, it's a bribe. So it's just been used as a slap on the hand. So we are going to go deeper into this. We have seen even Netflix have done shows on the same, documentaries on the same. There's this one, as you can see, the first one right here. Again in 2022, they did another one. FIFA scandals. They do bribes. How some nations, they get the bid, or rather to get the win of the bid. Such things, it's all a slap on the hand. And even we've heard a few about match fixing. It's just that I don't watch soccer. Just for your information, I don't watch soccer. I'm not a soccer fan. I never played soccer when I was young, and I just never came to have interest in soccer. So most of this stuff I just say about them, but I don't really go into detail to find out why, because I have no much interest in the same. So these are the very things. Even other sporting activities, we hear about the same things. They're more about FIFA. You see, corruption. And we're going to jump to Formula 1. We'll start from 2020. Red Bull broke the rules by the cost cap in 2021. It spilled over to 2022. Now, according to the rules, they would have to be either be disqualified or they lose points that they had acquired. Those were the rules. Now you will find that this is kind of a story that is going on all the time. Now let me just reject this. So there it is. This was big, and this is so big that they were not supposed to go free of charge by just saying pay a 5,000 or pay this fine. That doesn't really change anything. They keep their titles, they keep their wins, they keep their position. It doesn't change anything. It's more like a driver knows that if I cheat, they'll just charge me, they'll give me a fine, and that's it. Then we move on. So the driver will continue doing the same thing. Now we have seen, as we will continue through this video, we'll see that Red Bull keeps going through the cheating phases, because they know that okay, they'll just fine us, but we will keep the records that we won this, we won that title, this and that. They lose nothing. And this is exactly what we see. Red Bull loses nothing. They'll keep going. They'll keep cheating. Now, 2021, it comes to, you saw how bad it was. Let me just put some images so that you can see. There are the many of Lewis and Max. And most of these, it was Max who was responsible, running Lewis wide, all that. And then he taught the trick to Perez, and Perez started doing the same thing to Lewis. He started running him wide. That's why you even saw the 2021, Perez was able to keep Lewis behind by racing dirty. I mean, Red Bull and the drivers, it's just a horrible team. It's just a horrible team. It's just a horrible team. So you see what happened. So let's talk about 2021. It came to the final race. What happened in the final race? The final race, FIA broke their own rules. I mean, breaking your own rules. You know the right thing. Let me open the rules, sporting rules for the regulations for F1. Okay, this is an article and regulations for sporting. If you go through this, you will read the regulations on the safety car and what they are supposed to do. Let's try to find safety car somewhere. 39 to 38. Okay, here are the regulations on the safety car, but it's gonna be long if I start searching for the exact rule. So let's bring it down. Let's just open the one that is already clearly available and quick. So this is what I wanted. The cars between the safety car and the leader, okay, need to be let through. Lapped cars need to be allowed to overtake the car. The safety car returns to pit at the end of the following lap. This means when the cars are allowed to overtake the leader, to unlap themselves, that's the term that is used, the safety car has to go one more lap. Listen to this. The safety car needs to have another extra lap. It's their rules. Now, what happens in 2021? That was a big mess. I could have played the videos, but it's going to be hard because it won't make sense if I have a claim, I cut those out, and then you don't see anything, or while I'm commenting I remove all the commentary. So let me just see if I can show you a few images. Okay, this is what happened. Look at this. This was the lead that Lewis had, and only a few laps were remaining for the race to be ended. You see that? Check this out. Right here, there were 5 cars. 5. When I say 5 cars between Lewis and Max. And these 5 cars were allowed to do what? To overtake Lewis, but not the cars behind Max. That's breaking the rules. 1. Secondly, they were already close to the beginning of another lap. Quickly, they made those rules to say only the cars between Hamilton and Lewis to Max to pass, and then the safety car quickly come in. 1 lap remaining. Why did they do that? Because they knew that if they go another lap following the rules, the race will end behind the safety car and Lewis will be champion. So someone pushed the buttons and pushed Mercy so much, and we know who it was, Christian Horner. And these guys, even if you say what, FIA should have stopped the race, everyone was watching, the governing body leaders were watching, they could have made a call quickly to the stewards and say red flag the race before it even ended. This race was supposed to be stopped, and in that red flag they would have said, okay, 2 laps back what were the positions for each car. So Lewis would have been champion. But these guys, probably they did not like Mercedes dominance, so they just wanted some change. And that change ended up to be Red Bull stealing or being awarded a championship they didn't deserve. Everyone knows this championship will remain a talking point, and it will be scarred by what happened there, by the breaking of the rules. Look at this. Yes, videos were made, people talked, Mercedes tried to petition, but guess what? They abandoned the petition. They said they're pulling back. Why did they do that? You never know what happened behind the closed doors. These things of corruption in sport is so horrible. So here is where someone writes on their website that FIA admit Verstappen's title not legit. Guess why can this be justified? When you fire Massey, who made all those errors, and then change the rules, what does that say? It clearly shows guilt. They knew that, okay, he messed up the rules. You can read that. He messed up the rules. That was guilt. So what do? They throw Massey to say he is to blame. They throw him under the bus. See that? More like he's a scapegoat, so that the whole FIA body goes unscathed. If they didn't do that, it would have been worse. More like to say, okay, Mercedes, calm down. We are firing this guy. We'll change the rules. No, don't change the rules. Apply the rules, then change them. Apply the rules, then Lewis wins the title. Simple as that. I mean, petitions were made online. Okay, if you follow Formula One, you could have seen petitions that were filed that FIA do something about the issue that was caused. When FIA confirms that Mass made error, why don't you correct the errors? Why do you let everything continue? This was something easy. That's why I say that if I have big cash, let me say, if I was a trillionaire, a millionaire wouldn't work. I would offer 800 or even 1 trillion to buy Formula One. No one would refuse to sell it. No one would refuse. I would buy. Then I would say, I'm changing. We are going to look at all the injustices that has happened in Formula One and award the people. 2021 will be the first one. If Massa's petition, when he was also robbed of that championship, if it's really true, what would I do? I would say, well, Lewis would have to lose that championship, meaning he'll go to 6. But you will be amazed that Lewis would be at 8 titles if we had to disqualify Red Bull. You will see as we go forward. Starting with 2021, if Lewis lost the title petition to Massa, he will go to 6. 2021, he will be at 7 titles. Then there was another year. Red Bull has been cheating throughout the years. You will see. So look at all that. All this news, all this. Considering, but why? Clearly it shows that it was wrongdoing, but you are just saying, considering. There are the clean rules. You can see people's reactions. FIA It's just something else. FIA is no different from all these other sporting events that have a lot of corruption. A lot of corruption. I mean, there must be something to be done about all these sporting events. Why is corruption allowed? Why do corrupt leaders, officials allowed? I'm going fast. You can pause and read all this, or we'll be here the whole day. Should I read through all this? I'm just doing this for those that are new to F1. They just started watching recently and they don't know the history, what happened, what transpired. And then you have Danica Patrick also coming in concerning the recent disqualification of George Russell. She supports Russell and says, I saw from another, just that I can't read through, rather Russell, not Lewis, to win, or Max. See, from all that, this is it. Let me try to play probably just the audio. I'll put this image and play the audio so that you can hear for yourself what was going on. And I'll play just some screenshots or some pieces for you to count the cars that were between Lewis and Max. Let's go.
Do then.
Lap cars will not be allowed to overtake.
Yeah, of course. Typical decision.
It's classic.
I'm not surprised.
Why aren't we getting these lap cars out of the way?
Just give me, well, because Christian, just give me a second. Okay, my big one is to get this incident clear.
Is the safety car coming in this lap? We think it should do, could do.
Lapped cars to overtake the safety car. So Norris and Alonso and Ocon and Leclerc and Vettel to
And it's
overtake
ending.
it.
And it's ending. Wow.
So there's confusion, but the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So those back markers allowed to overtake the safety car.
Michael, this isn't right.
It has left Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen side by side. Race that started with controversy is ending with controversy.
No, Michael, no, Michael, that was so not right.
Did you hear that? I mean, I think that's why Lewis was so disturbed and discouraged until the last win that he had. Why he was even so emotional, he's mentioned that 2021 happenings to his mind. He started doubting himself. The 2021 was painful because no one was on his side. The team wasn't on his side. I mean, I don't know what to say. The team was really not on Lewis' side. If they were, they could have got that title even before January. They could have taken the whole body to court. Like I said, if I bought Formula One, I will change the whole structure. We'll go back to 2021 without further investigation. We'll just say, strip this one of the title, give it to Max. That slap of the hand for Red Bull 2021 running the budget, I'll say, let them lose points for certain races or a certain number of points, because disqualifying them will be too much, but that's what they would deserve. I'll come back to the disqualifying part later. Let me show you more. That's what we talked about. the Abu Dhabi petition, it didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere. See that? People tried, it didn't work. Because the system, listen, F1 is big money. Sport is big money. The sporting world, soccer especially, is number one with a lot of cash. I don't know which is number two, but all I know is F1 is also big cash. But it's under FIFA. It cannot come close to soccer. So the big cash that is in, it's easy to just slap someone on the hand to keep quiet. We don't know the type of corruption, how deep this corruption is, but it's just too much. It's just too much. I don't know what can be done. We as fans or teams, you can see teams, they are silent. They don't do anything about all these teams. Which team leader spoke when Lewis lost that 2021 title? They were all silent. If they said something, I didn't hear anything. Which shows that, what if it was their driver? Should they have kept quiet? They would have done something. See that? So, see what's going on right here? And then now, we look at Red Bull for 2023. Red Bull in 2023, they had Perez and Max having eco cars. What did they do? I saw it. Commentators and everyone were blinded. They couldn't see exactly what was going on. I said, when I watched the race where Perez was leading and Max failed to catch Perez, that was in April. And then Max's father asked Red Bull that Perez should give the position to Max. The team didn't do that. From then, I knew that this is trouble for Perez. He will never win again. Guess what? I was right. The following races, either the car has a DNF, it's slow, it's not performing well, and Perez never could beat Max anymore. Here is where the proof is. When it was shown that Lewis was going to be second in the championship, what did they do? They gave Perez towards the ending races to have an equally fast car, and he went back to the front. From the back, finishing 7th, 8th, 6th, 5th, to finishing 2nd or 3rd. You see that? That was clear. I made a video about that, and here is the video. That's the video right there. Red Bull caught cheating. I just put 2024 because that's when I made this video, but I was talking about 2023 cheating. I talked about this. So this means that you people, many do not, this means that the Formula One world kind of looks the other way. Many would know exactly that something fishy is happening, but they will not say anything, especially the commentary team, the journalists that comment on the sport. They would never say anything because that's their job right there. Their job will literally just go right there by saying a wrong thing. Therefore, whatever I said in this video, it just proves exactly that Red Bull is kind of races very dirty. Do you see that? Let's come back and bring this to 2024. FIA is back to its bad handling of matters. Red Bull has been found to be cheating with a car. Okay, let me just show you. We'll just use that because it will give us the results. So it's about the braking system, something like that. That's why Red Bull's illegal car ended up losing performance from being so dominant, they just lost performance. Though other teams caught up, we hear that they were told that silently remove those things. They did so, they lost the performance. Who knows why many of the top people who are working on the car are jumping ship? They probably are jumping ship because they do not want the fingers to be pointed at them when things get hot. But I think it won't get hot unless other teams speak out. Like I said, this is big money. They can just be the team principals. They will get what? A slap on the hand. And they will keep quiet. Because if this were to go big, FIA is found to be hiding and protecting Red Bull. It means, look what would happen if it came public and FIA admit. It means Red Bull has had an illegal car from 2022 when Mercedes tried to say something that investigate this car. They never did anything. Now they keep finding that I think they could have had illegal car in all these other seasons. In the beginning of this year, whatever system they were using, it was illegal. What does that mean? It means they need to disqualify Red Bull for winning those races with an illegal car. Simple. That's really what it speaks about. Let's look at this. If they can disqualify Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc for the flaw that wears out in USA when Lewis got second, they did what? Just millimeters. Do you know what a millimeter is? A millimeter is something that is so small. But they disqualified Lewis from second to scoring nothing at all. If they can, for a millimeter, you disqualify a driver. For 1.5 kg, you disqualify a driver. Red Bull cheats. A fine. Why not fine Lewis for the flaw that was wearing out? There it is. Lewis disqualified. And Charles Leclerc, they were disqualified. For what? Okay, I don't seem to find the correct disqualification form from FIA concerning this very disqualification of Lewis and Leclerc. We're talking about millimeters. We talked about 1.5 kg. But how about Red Bull? When do they get a disqualification? Never. They will cheat. They will use illegal car. Illegal car calls for disqualification. For the plank to wear millimeters, it means it's illegal, right? They were disqualified. People, I mean, what's going on with FIA and F1? Just on the side part, this is another trick that was found with Red Bull and Ferrari doing such trickery. And this, I don't think this was too much talk. And then we have Leclerc losing third. You see how these disqualifications are happening for drivers doing some small mistake, the car here, the car that. But how about Max Verstappen and Red Bull? Okay, this one here is what I was talking about. Let me see if I can open it bigger. I'll just have to zoom in when editing. You can see plank wear. Look at the numbers right there. You see that? They are following what? Rules. But why don't they follow rules when in some cases, 2021, they could have brought their own rules like that and says we are disqualifying Max or we are giving the title to Lewis. Simple, by just giving us the very rules. We saw the rules before. It was clear. They didn't do that. This is the hypocrisy, and this is why they don't deserve to continue with the same leadership that probably is biased towards a certain driver. This is not how sport should be, because they are going to ruin the sport. I had unsubscribed from the app Formula One, watching Formula One on my phone. Why? Well, there is no way I could subscribe to watch. Dominant is not the normal one. As we can see, things are now coming out. It came from cheating, but FIA will hide that. Even now, it's not yet blown out. It's still silent. More like it's still just being done. If team leaders, they keep quiet, this is going to continue. Red Bull is gonna go scot-free. Teams, if they need points, Lando Norris close to Max in the championship. So McLaren is the one that is supposed to even go in hard to fight this, so that it comes to light and Red Bull to be disqualified for the races they used an illegal car. If Russell's car was illegal because it was underweight by 1.5 kg, how about telling Red Bull silently remove that illegal part? That's the most corrupt thing ever. We'll just charge you this amount and reduce wind tunnel testing time. That doesn't make sense. You disqualify or make them lose points. If other drivers and teams are getting harsh treatment, disqualifications, how about Red Bull? When are we going to see that? Is this thing going into race that they didn't want a brown man to have records, break records, and to be on top of F1? Look at the records. Like I said, Perez car was made slow so that Max can break fake records, and he did break a lot of records. Those were fake. Now we know that he did that not only because Perez's car was made slow, he did that with an illegal car, using an illegal system in the car. But man, I don't know. People will be silent. They won't do anything. I'm telling you the truth. This may just go silent and quiet. So how can this thing end? The only thing all these scandals can come to rest, the injustice that only some drivers, they have to be disqualified, others they had to go scot-free or just be fined. It has to end. There it is. If this doesn't go in disqualification, FIA is the worst corrupt sport governing body in the world, above what FIFA officials did. It will be the most corrupt, because if they disqualify Red Bull, 2023 Lewis Hamilton coming third in the titles championship, they disqualify the car, it means Lewis wins. How many titles are those? That's 8 titles. If we remove one title that I said we give it to Massa, if we keep that Massa title and they say no, it wasn't illegal, it means Lewis will be at how many? As the thumbnail says, 9 championship, 9 titles. You see that? As the thumbnail shows, 9 titles, Lewis Hamilton. That's exactly where Lewis Hamilton will be. 9 championship titles. But do you think they can do that and disqualify Red Bull? Bring justice to 2021? They can't do that. This is big money. Someone is getting paid for all these errors and cheating. This cheating. Red Bull is a big company and there are a lot of sponsors behind them. They can just be given big cash. They can be given even 100, 200 million and pay off and give the governing body FIA, and they will silence those other members in the governing body. Easy as that. Easy as that. If team leaders, they try to say, hey, they'll say, my dear, what are you saying here? Boom, a slap. Not a slap of beating, but a slap in the hand. My God, this is a very corrupt system. A corrupt system. It has to be brought to an end. Enough is enough. People are there watching and just letting everything slide. You see that? Why is everything just being let to slide? Look at that. They were cheating throughout, but if I don't know. So people, you have seen, we need to end this because I'll keep talking. Like I said, if I had the big cash, buy F1, say, hey, let's look at the injustices. Look at how the FIA head did Mohammed. He did what? When he was given the position, he brought rules to say no jury. And that was targeted only on one driver who was doing so. Lewis. Jury, they said, if you wore jury, disqualification. Wait. Red Bull break the rules, cheat by overspending. You fine them. You don't disqualify them. But a driver to wear jury on the nose that he will be wearing behind a helmet, you say it's doing something and you say you're going to be disqualified. What does that mean? He, I can say, brought what? Religion into a company. Now, if you are given to be CEO or head, doesn't mean bring religion in the company. So you see the talk when people said a weird shake of the hand. Look at this. It was weird. Look what they're saying. Others, they say he ignored him, but this shake indeed was weird. I saw something's going on right here. Lewis never stopped. He just more like gave a handshake looking forward where he's gone, not even looking at the man. This was weird. Why would he react like that? Well, it's the same man who made his life difficulty by saying jury disqualification. What does a nose ring has to do with driving a car and disqualifying a car? Let's compare having an illegal braking system on a car and then silently told to remove that. Compare that to a nose ring that calls for disqualification. People, please, team leaders, man, I wish I was a trillionaire. Buy F1. Try to pay the teams to change their team leaders and say, put people that will fight for justice, what's going on track, because that's up to team leaders. They see injustice, even if it's not a driver is not on your team. Speak out if you see injustice. That's what's supposed, because next day it will be your driver. You see that? But they don't do anything about that. They just look the other way. It's not my team. So this has to end. Look at that. And look at the reaction that Toto has. When the team wins, Toto celebrates much. Listen to this. Now, take a look at 2021 Abu Dhabi, FIA stealing the championship from Lewis and handing it over to Max Verstappen. Look at the reaction. Do you see that? probably even, yeah, he broke the headset. So those were trash. You see that? If he could react like that, how about showing some reaction when your team wins? See that?
Get in there, Lewis! You're the man! You're the man! Russell demanded one.
Yeah. Do you see that? What kind of a reaction after a team win is this? But let's take a look at the other reaction.
Russell takes his third. Get in there, Lewis! You're the man! You're the man! Russell demanded one. Russell takes his third.
Do you see that? What kind of a reaction after a 1-2 finish by your team? If you check Toto Wolff's reaction in all the races when a team wins, even gets a second, unless there's a celebration. See the celebration he does when they get a win. 1-2, he looks like this gloomy. Don't you think that spills or speaks guilty? You knew that he's guilty. They tried to steal the win from Lewis, but too bad it backfired. Do you see that? Let me show you the reactions, what his reactions are. This is how his reactions are. A big celebration, not this. Quiet, no reaction, no celebration. This was total failure and proof of guilt. Did you hear that? Toto celebrates, but on that day, it shows that he was guilty. He went on to do what Red Bull does, doing trickery to get one driver win the race. They sacrificed Perez, stopped him earlier. They will not call Perez on the radio and say, let Max pass. You see that? It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Therefore, Mercedes, what they tried to do, they wanted to steal the race win from Lewis. I mean, he did a great job. He worked so hard for that he was supposed to be rewarded easily, as tell Russell that, okay, we'll let you go on, but don't hold Lewis back, don't fight him, let him go through because he deserves that win. But they never did that, and they knew what they were doing. Look what happened. I was confused. I said, why did he say that? The engineer told Lewis that give each other space. When the engineer said give each other space, I was surprised that Lewis stopped pursuing Russell and there was a big gap. It either confused him or he became upset that why are they telling me this? Why didn't they not tell Russell that? We should have heard Russell being told that, but they didn't. They just told one person. After the race, you could see that Lewis wasn't happy. Mercedes, the way they are treating Lewis, it's so horrible that if there was a way that Lewis can just maybe go to another team mid-season, I would say, my dear, just go. These people, they are horrible. I used to support Mercedes so much, but just that one race, I said, well, that's horrible. Can never support Mercedes like that. Or I can say, let me hear your comments. Please subscribe. I've given you data of how many? About 3 videos in one. As you can see, I should have made probably 3 videos. I talked about this. I included the 2021 Red Bull cheating and Mercedes treating Lewis so bad, FIA being corrupt. I mean, even comes to 4 videos. Red Bull cheating. Hey, people, please comment, share the video. We need to discuss. We need, as fans, Yes, we watch, we talk on social media, but if we talk too loudly, maybe it will go unnoticed. Team leaders, they're supposed to speak up. You are supposed to speak up. Though we are not really considered, because what does big cash has to do with a fan ranting on social media? Right now, I am just ranting because, my dear, big money. If I talk too much, they can say, bro, you're talking too much. Hold this. They pay me off and you hear me stop making videos on such topics. That's the system that is there. If I reject that cash, well, it doesn't make any difference because they have big cash. They will silence others. Team leaders, they will silence them, and the corruption goes on. So people, please comment below. Let's talk about this. What do you think? Should Red Bull be disqualified? I know the fans, they will not, Max fans or Red Bull fans, they will not say yes, disqualify him, because if Red Bull loses the points, who is leading the championship? Yep, he will be leading the championship. And if other drivers don't catch him, what happens? He wins the championship. But the remaining races, according to mathematical calculations, we have about 5 drivers still in this fight. Let's look at the points. Okay, you see the points? Look at how close Leclerc is to Norris, Piastri, Carlos, Lewis behind by 49. What is 49 points? 49 points is nothing, because it calls for 1 or 2 DNF, and the other drivers have caught up with you widely. It's the same thing with these points right there. It's not that much. What is 80 points? I don't think this is updated. According to the disqualifications of Russell, these points should be 79 right there and 101 right there. But let's just go with this. So this means 78 points difference. What is 78 points? 78 points in about 3 races. You can catch the guy who is on top. If he has just 2 DNFs, finishes outside the points for 2 races, it's easy. Which means any of these drivers right there, yeah, up to Russell, they have a chance this year. They have a chance. These drivers ahead of Russell can have bad races. Russell can win the championship. Perez can win the championship. Lewis can win the championship. But if Red Bull lost the points and get disqualified using an illegal car, Red Bull, these two, Max and Sergio Perez, they will drop way around this place. No, probably even below 22, because we're just going to start counting the races they got the system out of the car. If they won any race, well, they'll keep that, but they will all be, both of them, they'll all be below Russell, and we'll have Lando probably in the best place to win the championship. So McLaren, fight this. Don't be silent. Ferrari, Mercedes, fight this. Don't keep quiet. Your drivers have a chance this year to win the championship. The same way in 2021, Red Bull and FIA cheated Lewis of the title, and all the teams were silent. Don't be silent now. Let one of these drivers win the championship this year.
However, their dominance abruptly ended at the Miami Grand Prix, as despite taking pole position, Lando Norris's lead after the safety car phase left the Red Bull unable to catch up, and this resulted in their first non-win finish since the 2023 Singapore Grand Prix. Coincidentally, this was also the first race after Adrian Newey's departure from the team, leading to speculation that his absence contributed to Red Bull's struggles. In the races following Miami, it became evident that something was amiss with the RB20's performance. and although Verstappen secured wins at Imola, Canada, and Spain, Red Bull admitted that the car had fundamental issues, particularly on riding the curbs and on the bumpy tracks. Their highly anticipated upgrade package at Imola did not deliver the expected improvements either, and rather seemed to regress the car's performance, which further left many confused. At the Austrian Grand Prix, Verstappen managed to secure a dominant pole position by beating the rest by 0.4 of a second, which highlighted that the Red Bulls still had pace. However, during the sprint race and the main race, McLaren emerged as the fastest car, and within a few races, Red Bull's apparent dominance completely evaporated, and they no longer looked like they had the quickest car on the grid. This trend continued at Silverstone and the Hungarian Grand Prix, where Red Bull's performance drastically declined, and despite showing strong pace in the final stint at Silverstone, their opening stint was significantly poor, and the Hungarian Grand Prix marked their worst performance of the season, compounded by Verstappen's abhorrent driving. Comparing the race pace of the teams at the Hungarian Grand Prix from 2023 to 2024, McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes all showed improvements, while Red Bull had slowed by 0.2 per lap. And although Verstappen and Perez had to contend with more competition during the race in comparison to last season, it was still evident that Red Bull's car performance has strangely just fallen off. Interestingly, Spanish F1 commentator Antonio Lobato revealed that there is speculation in the paddock that two different teams believed that Red Bull's sudden performance drop-off was due to illegal parts being found on their car, which the FIA banned discreetly. And funnily enough, this revelation aligns with a hypothesis I discussed in a video uploaded a month ago about this same thing, which can be seen here. Moreover, the final hypothesis that could explain Red Bull's performance drop-off is a bit of a stretch, but it could possibly be that Red Bull were found to have been doing something dodgy with their car by the FIA to extract greater performance, and that they have now been banned from doing so. If these allegations are true, it would imply that not only was Red Bull's dominance in the first few races of the 2024 season aided by cheating, but this would also include the 2022 and 2023 seasons too, and that Verstappen's championships and Red Bull's constructors' titles are all fraudulent. Additionally, if true, this would also mean that Red Bull has breached the regulations for 4 consecutive years, starting from the controversial Abu Dhabi race manipulation and their cost cap breach in 2021, and their use of illegal parts from 2022 to 2024. If proven, it would also raise serious questions regarding the FIA's handling of these matters, especially compared to their treatment of Ferrari's illegal engine in 2019, where it was made public, in contrast to this being dealt with behind the scenes. If Red Bull exploited illegal parts since the beginning of the 2022 regulations, all their championships should be stripped, and they should be disqualified from those seasons too. And as a result, Charles Leclerc would be crowned the 2022 World Champion, and Sir Lewis Hamilton the 2023 World Champion. And if the sport had any integrity, Hamilton would also be recognized as the rightful 2021 champion too. If this speculation is true, it's no surprise as to why the FIA chose to handle it behind closed doors, as such revelations would further tarnish the sport's integrity to a point of no return. The public disclosure of Red Bull's alleged cheating would not only question the legitimacy of Red Bull's dominance from 2022 to 2024, but it would also highlight how Lewis Hamilton would have been wrongfully denied his record-breaking 8th championship twice due to Red Bull's cheating, and therefore the FIA simply couldn't afford to let this be known to the public. Based on what I've seen, I personally suspect that something fishy is happening with Red Bull's performance regression, leading me to believe they were actually cheating. While Adrian Newey's departure would have affected their ability to optimize their car, I don't believe that alone explains Red Bull's current struggles, and as Red Bull's performance continues to decline, more people will begin to question the situation, and it's only a matter of time before everything is exposed. The 2021 Abu Dhabi controversy left a permanent scar on the sport, and if it's true that Red Bull has cheated again, I don't see how the FIA and the sport could recover from this. All of Verstappen's championships would be considered fraudulent, and people might genuinely call for Red Bull's removal from the sport due to their alleged persistent cheating. Likewise, drivers who finished second best in the races and the final championship standings to the Red Bull cars over the past few years might also demand that they be claimed the rightful winners. And to sum this all up, this situation is very sticky. Another strong indication that Red Bull may be cheating lies in their correlation issues with their upgrades, as since the 2022 ground effect regulations were introduced, Red Bull's upgrades have consistently delivered significant performance gains, and for a long time they appeared to be the only team fully understanding the regulations, as demonstrated in this clip.
Each of you has done something to limit the problem. And congratulations.
Well, change your car. You've got a problem. Change your fucking car.
You change your car because Checo has been saying the car is fucked.
No,
and
you haven't.
has been going out.
To my drivers.
Checo has been on the record and is in.
Okay, let's go and get them.
Yeah. No, anyway, I have it. I have it printed out.
However, fast forward to the midpoint of the 2024 season, and the once formidable Red Bull now seemingly struggles with curbs and bumps, has inconsistent steering, and faces correlation issues. And this sudden drop in performance is highly suspicious, and I firmly believe something dodgy is happening. The upcoming race at Spa and the remainder of the 2024 season will be extremely interesting. Despite Verstappen leading the championship by 76 points, if Red Bull continues to struggle with their upgrade correlation issues while McLaren brings improved performance packages, we could very much see a reality where Norris is challenging for race wins for the rest of the season, while Verstappen is fighting down in 5th and 6th place. In 2022 and 2023, Red Bull was untouchable at Belgium, and if they arrive at Spa this season not being the fastest car, it would strongly suggest they had been using illegal parts that they have now been banned from using. Let me know in the comments if you think Red Bull is cheating, and don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel.
Let's go. Comment below, share this on social media. It will be an explosive debate. I'm telling you that. I'll try to share this, but I know some groups, they don't allow my posts. Others allow them. So please click that bell. Let's go. Let me hear from you. Let's go. Goodbye.